Nick Lowry with Scott Passmore, who's done probably 1,000 of these events in your time, maybe more. When you look at community events that you're asked to do, and so many of them aimed at children, what's different about foster children, particularly something like this, which is helping foster children as they turn into adults and suddenly there's no one there for them?
Well, I like anything that can help children, but foster kids, it's like they don't have a chance. It's very difficult for them. They're starting. Where are their parents? They don't have anybody that they can really turn to,
or they've had
except for the foster parents.
5 sets of foster parents.
Yeah, and they can go from home to home and it's just really unfair. It's a lousy way to start.
Sherry and the better half, if you will, Brandon Moore, 6 years with the 49ers, 1 year with the Chargers, and here's an opportunity to see both sides of it. Fashion at its best, beautiful wife who's helping with the cause, and good-looking husband who probably has had his share raising your own kids of looking at how important it is as you look back at your own parents, and now you're achieving that role of how important something like foster children, especially for those that turn 18 and no one's out there for them. Tell me your own perspective on the importance of this cause.
Well, I think it's difficult for any child growing up in a foster situation, and it's even that much more difficult when they graduate and when they turn 18, 19 years old, and there's nowhere for them to turn, there's no one for them to look to them, and there's no one for them to foster them. I think just the whole idea of the charity and being able to aid them and assist them in those later years of their life, I think is great.
11 years. Now, Jeremy Bridges, 11 years, your beautiful wife over there going to be in the fashion show. There she is. And these are beautiful ladies, but, all of us, you and your wife, we probably had more than one great adult influence in our life. Right. And this event tonight is about this huge missing link, this chink in the fence. It just is not there to help catch young people who've been through the foster children. The foster program has had a lot of nightmare stories to begin with. Most of these kids have had terrible experiences, and they've luckily had usually one or two that weren't so terrible. Right. Tell me about why you're here tonight.
Well, me personally, my soft spot is kids. I am a youth football coach and a mentor to as many kids as I possibly can be. Just because of the simple fact that they're so easily swayed the wrong way.
Yes.
It's so easy to go left when they're supposed to go right. TV is so influential these days, and the radio, and they see these guys and the flash and the bling bling, and they think that's what life's all about. And little do they know that these guys work for what they're doing, and it's just a gimmick.
Subin Wadsworth has 3 children.
I have 4 girls.
4. See, they keep, every time I see you
I would scare them the way that I look right now.
I know, but actually, after a while, they'd say, no, actually, Mom looks pretty remarkable. But she is the wife of Andre Wadsworth, who's one of the top players in the draft a few years ago, and is one of the top people in the same way I talked about with Jeremy Bridges, that he sees the role and the direct link between his blessing as a football player to do something with it. Now, you're his wife, and you've seen the impact of being a good mother with 4 children, and here, this is an event that's directly about whether we can find more positive role models for kids, not only at 3 and 5 and 10 like your kids, but when they turn 18.
Exactly, and that's why I'm here, because I believe so much in foster care and just giving every child a chance to have a good life, and to, whether they come into foster care at birth or, 15, 16 years old, every child deserves a chance, whatever age they are, and if somebody's going to take them in, then I think that's amazing.
Won the Phoenix Fashion Show, and we know that fashion is fashionable, but what about changing the lives of kids? This event tonight is all about that. I think fashion and being fashionable by having a big heart is a good thing, right?
Yes, it definitely is. I think that anyone should be thinking like the kids. It's really important to go out and support your community.
And the thing that's great about you, Alexis, is when you're on the runway, I saw you have tremendous spirit and self-confidence. Isn't that basically what we're trying to do with the kids, to give them that same sense of, in the moment, have your own self-confidence and belief in yourself?
Yes, and it's not known, but I was actually in foster care growing up.
Were you really?
I was. And stuff like this really helped me to get my confidence up, and I think it's really important to reach out to kids and build them up and uplift them.
why foster children, why this is so important. You know, foster children have a tough enough time till they're 18, but when they turn 18, there's nothing there for them. Tell us about, you know, why you think this is important. As you work with kids, and in the NFL, we get to work with a lot of kids. Why do you think this is so important?
Well, I think this is very important because I wasn't raised by my two parents. You know, I was raised by my grandma. Then I moved to Kentucky and I lived with my sister. So I know the importance of people to be there and to help you and support. And I know everybody's not fortunate to have a sister or grandma there. So I know this is very important just to help kids know that they can still be anything that they want to be and still work hard, still go to college, and still achieve their dreams.
He's a former kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, where I just happened to grow up, Nick Lowry, and he does a lot for children's charities. Hey, Nick.
Just going to be a second. First of all, I'm honored to be with Leslie and with you, my good friend, and Katanya and Jessa and all the people, Rebecca, that organize this. I want to honor my friends here, my brothers that we've known. Stand up, all the NFL players that are here. Please stand up. Please, all of you. Sid Justin, I'm calling your name. J.T. Smith, Michael Banks, and the whole crew. J.D. Hill. And you know what this is about is there are two generations being born right now. And they're all part of the same generation. The first generation is the athletes that are going into this increasingly narcissistic culture where it's all about them. But guess what? The good news is there's a generation of unbelievably giving, caring, genuine athletes like these guys, like the kids at Queen Creek, that are inspired by pastor, inspired by some adult person in their lives. And foster children don't have that the way we grew up with, right? Am I right? Foster children had to rely on someone else. The only people they can rely on are us, right? And so tonight's about closing that gap. When you turn 18, I don't know about you, my friends, I didn't know much at 18. I didn't know much at 30, frankly. And at 18, I didn't know anything. And the foster children program that these people have stood up for, it's 100% about honoring these children and what they can do to be the representatives for this next generation in terms of courage and leadership and service, all the things that Living Word Church is about, that our God is about. J.T. Smith, a couple Pro Bowls with the Chiefs, a couple hundred catches for the Cardinals. J.T., you have found your match in Monica, and you found a godly life, and why are you here tonight?
Well, we're here to support the kids. You know, there's a lot of things. You know, I grew up without a father, and I was blessed to have a mother, so she did the best she could. So, and I had somebody in my life to help me go to the next level, and that's what we're here to do for the kids tonight.
Sid Justin played in the Super Bowl, but he also sang for Shalimar and has been singing with the Miracles. He's got a concert coming up May 4th for breast cancer, and tonight it's all about foster children.
Yeah.
Thinking about growing up in LA and all the gangs, that was pretty important for you to have adult models that made you make the right choice.
Most definitely, yeah. I think, Nick, that you know, this event here is wonderful in regards to, you know, taking care of these kids, because that's what's important. Our future, they're our future. You know, the kids are the future. We've already had our time. You know what I mean? So in LA, it was just rough. You know, rough growing up in Los Angeles.
And look what happened to you. You overcame.
Yeah, you know, I did. You know, praise be to God, brother.
And I haven't asked anybody else, but do you think that there's and you'll probably know which opinion I have, that there are two generations growing up at the same time of athletes? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays there's a sense of entitlement, even though they haven't strived and worked for it nowadays. But back in the day when we grew up, and football was football, and you can see even the guys before us said football was football because they didn't actually have the dollars that they are issued nowadays. And now those dollars means a lot, and also it lessens the game somewhat. As people say, I cannot take a snap at all. I'm not trying to. But one thing I can do is reach back to the next generation, as long as God's given me the ability, and bring them up and teach them something and show them a different way, and provide them with the opportunities that we didn't have sometimes.
Hill, number one pick of the Buffalo Bills, a long career with Buffalo in the NFL, but you've done a lot of things to help homeless, and you do a lot of work in the community. When you think about foster children, what about tonight's purpose really hit your heart?
I'm a former foster parent of 4 children, so I know what it is. I know what the program is. I know the needs of the foster child. I had 5 children myself and 4 foster children. I had 9 kids in my home. So I know the value of what this is about when it's about reaching out and getting people, making people aware of the needs of foster children.
David Carter and Paige Carter, you know, beautiful families, a beautiful cause. What would you say about fashion being perhaps the most important thing making foster children fashionable tonight?
I think fashion has a way of bringing attention to a lot of causes. Everyone's into fashion. If we can get people together with fashion for a great cause, that's, I mean, the best of both worlds.
Dave, what did it mean to you to watch your beautiful wife? I mean, there were a lot of beautiful models tonight, but I'd have to say she was right at the top. What was it like to watch her for a great cause straight down the aisle?
Man, it was a great feeling, you know, to know that we were able to help people out, you know, look good and help people out at the same time. So that was a great feeling. Watching all those people out there, everybody out there, that was good.
A theory that when you feed your spirit, you know, you go more beautiful as a human being. 2 beautiful people inside and out, Rebecca and Leslie Swan, and it's over. The event is over. What's it mean to you to reach out and put a flag in the stand for foster children when they turn 18?
You know, I would say thank you. As I looked out in the audience, I seen so many children, which people didn't realize were here, and I seen so many women. We brought in 35 women from a home, from transitional living, and they sat in the back, and I just watched them, like tears come down their eyes, and I thought, tonight they have hope. So for that, the work was all worth it.